The John mansion was wide, tall, and beautiful, yet it always felt quiet and heavy. For the last 3 months, this had been your new home. After your wedding, you had imagined laughter, warmth, and closeness, but married life with Jungkook was not what you expected. He was not unkind, he never shouted, never ignored you on purpose. He respected you, cared for you in small ways, but he kept his distance. His words were short, his eyes often unreadable. It was like he lived beside you, but behind a wall you could not see through. That evening, the two of you sat across from each other at the long dining table. The chandelier cast golden light over the food. Neither of you spoke. The sound of spoons and fork was the only thing filling the air. You finally broke the silence. "The soup is really good today," you said softly. Jungkook looked up for a second, his gaze meeting yours before returning to his bowl. "I added more herbs. It helps digestion," he replied in a calm voice. You blinked. He had cooked it again. Your lips curved into a faint smile. "Thank you, Jungkook." He gave a small nod, then continued eating. The silence returned, calm but also cold. Later, you sat curled on the living room sofa with a book. The sound of the clock ticking on the wall reminded you of how quiet the house was. Jungkook walked past, carrying a plate of freshly cut fruit. Without saying anything, he placed it on the coffee table in front of you. "Oh, thank you," you said quickly, but he had already turned away, his tall figure moving up the stairs. You watched him disappear, your chest tightening. Why does he always show care but never his heart? The days passed with the same rhythm. In the mornings, he left for the office after asking in a simple voice, "Did you sleep well?" In the evenings, he sometimes prepared dinner or made sure your plate was full. At night, you both shared the same bed, but the space between you felt like a wall. Still, you noticed his quiet gestures. The night you sneezed during dinner, he poured warm water into your glass and slid it towards you. The morning you forget your shawl, you found one already draped around your shoulders. At times like this, you wondered if there was something more behind his distance. But 3 months of silence had left you with questions you didn't dare to ask. One morning, as you sipped tea at the table, Jungkook entered the hall, already dressed for work. His voice was calm, steady. "My sister is visiting," he said, adjusting his watch. "She will stay for 2 days." You looked up. "Oh, that's nice. It will be good to have family here." He gave a single nod, not meeting your eyes, then left for the office. That evening, as the sun dipped behind the mansion gates, a sleek black car stopped in front of the house. You stepped outside just as Jungkook's younger sister Jia stepped out. She was tall, elegant, and confident with sharp eyes. They seemed to notice everything at once. "Oppa," Jia said brightly, throwing her arms around Jungkook, who had returned home early to welcome her. Jungkook allowed a small smile to appear. "It's been a long time," he said simply. Then Jia turned towards you. Her smile thinned as her gaze swept over you slowly from your head to your toes. "So," she said, her voice polite but cool. "You must be the wife." Actually, Jia came to Seoul after 3 years, that also for urgent work, as she studies abroad. You stepped forward, forcing a warm smile. "Yes, welcome, Jia. It's really nice to meet you." She gave a small nod, her eyes unreadable. "Nice to meet you, too." The three of you entered the mansion together. Her laughter rang through the halls as she chatted with Jungkook, asking about his work, about his health, about old memories. You walked slightly behind them, her cold gaze still lingering in your mind. That night you lay in bed beside Jungkook as the house settled into silence. He slept on his back, breathing steady, his arms loosely resting near you but not touching. You stared at the ceiling, your heart heavy with thoughts. His sister had come, and something in the way she looked at you already told you that the days ahead would not be easy. The distance between you and Jungkook remained the same, but with Jia now living under the same roof, the silence of the mansion was about to change. The next morning, sunlight poured into the large dining hall. Jungkook sat at the table in his usual black suit, quietly finishing his breakfast. His phone buzzed and he glanced at it before standing. "I'll be late today," he said simply. His deep voice echoed softly in the quiet room. You nodded. "Okay, take care." He gave you one last look, unreadable as always, then left with his briefcase. The sound of the car engine faded outside, leaving the mansion silent once more. Across the table, Gia sipped her coffee. Her eyes, sharp and calculating, followed you as you cleared the dishes. She leaned back in her chair, a simple playing on her lips. Gia began slowly, "You're quiet." You looked up, unsure how to respond. "I guess so." Gia tilted her head. "But there's a difference. He chooses to be quiet. You seem to be waiting for him to speak first." Her words stung a little, though she had said them casually. He forced a polite smile. "Marriage takes time. We are still learning about each other." Just laughed soft but mocking. "Learning? Is that what you call it, or is it pretending?" You froze. "Pretending?" She set her cup down and leaned forward, her eyes narrowing. "Do you really think he married you for love?" The words hit you like a stone. Your hands tightened around the plate you were holding. What do you mean by that?" Gia smirked. "This marriage is a business deal. Both families rich, both reputations strong. Perfect arrangement, isn't it? If he loved you, don't you think the world would know? He hasn't posted a single picture with you, not one, not even a mention." You felt your heart twist. Maybe he's private about his life. You whispered, trying to defend him. "Private," Gia repeated, her voice sharp or ashamed. "Look at him. He doesn't talk to you. He doesn't even touch you. 3 months and you are still strangers under one roof." She leaned closer, her voice low but cutting. "If he loved you, he would show it, but he doesn't." You swallowed hard, fighting the tears that threatened to rise. "You're wrong," you said, though your voice shook. "He cares for me in small ways." Gia chuckled coldly. "Small ways? Cutting fruit, pouring water, that's not love, sister-in-law. That's courtesy, nothing more." The silence between you grew heavy. Your chest tightened, her words repeating again and again in your head. Finally, you stood gathering the dishes with trembling hands. "Excuse me," you whispered, escaping to the kitchen before she could see the tears forming in your eyes. Later that day, you sat by the balcony, staring at the garden below. The fresh air should have calmed you, but Gia's voice echoed in your mind. "He married you for business. If he loved you, he would show it. He hasn't even posted a picture with you." Your chest ached with doubt. Every small gesture Jungkook had done, bringing you a shower, refilling your glass, cooking soup, suddenly felt uncertain whether they signs of affection or just polite habits. When Jungkook returned that night, his face calm and unreadable as always, you couldn't bring yourself to ask. You sat in silence beside him at dinner, your appetite gone. He noticed, glancing at your untouched plate, but said nothing. Gia, however, smirked knowingly from across the table. And that night, as Jungkook lay in bed beside you asleep, or so you thought, you broke. The words you had held inside all day slipped out with your tears. "I thought you just needed time," you whispered, your face buried against his chest. "I thought maybe you liked me, but if this marriage is only business, then what am I even waiting for?" Your sobs shook your body as you clung to him, believing he couldn't hear. But Jungkook's eyes slowly opened, his heart racing beneath your cheek. The room was silent except for your muffled sobs. You lay against Jungkook's chest, believing he was asleep. His steady heartbeat filled your ear, but your own heart felt broken. Your tears dampened his shirt. You clutched the fabric, shaking as the words slipped out. I wish you had told me. I wish I wasn't just part of some deal. You closed your eyes, the pain too heavy, but suddenly the chest beneath you shifted. A hand slowly came up, resting carefully on your back. You froze, lifting your head in shock. Jungkook's eyes were open. He was awake. He had been listening. His gaze was soft, but his jaw was tense, as if holding back emotions. His voice, slow and steady, broke the silence. "You're wrong," he said quietly. You blinked, your lips parting. "What?" "I didn't marry you for business," Jungkook continued. His hand stayed on your back, firm but gentle. "I married you because I love you. I have loved you for a long time." Your breath caught. His words felt unreal, like a dream you had been waiting for, but never expected. You love me?" He nodded once, his dark eyes fixed on yours. "Yes." You shook your head, still trembling. "Then why are you so distant? Why don't you speak? Why do you keep pushing me away if you really love me?" Jungkook sighed, his eyes closing for a moment before opening again. His hand moved to hold yours, his fingers curling around tightly. "Because your parents told me you had gone through a breakup before our marriage. They said you needed time to heal. They asked me not to rush you, not to push you. So I stayed away. I thought my silence was giving you space. I thought I was protecting you." You stared at him, stunned. The truth hit you hard. Your parents, yes, they had told him about your past, but they had not told him the full truth. Your voice shook as you spoke. "I did have a breakup, but I worked through it. I did therapy. I was okay long before our marriage. My parents didn't know it, but I was ready. I wanted to start fresh with you." Tears filled your eyes again, but now they were different tears of release. And all this time, Jungkook's expression cracked for the first time in months. The mask of calmness fell away. His voice trembled as he whispered, "I wanted you more than anything, every day, every night, but I thought coming close would hurt you." You covered your face with your hands, crying again. All this time, it was a misunderstanding. Jungkook gently pulled your hands away and held your face in his palms. His thumbs brushed your wet cheeks. "No more misunderstandings," he said firmly. "From now on, I will never let you doubt me again." Your heart pounded as you looked into his eyes. For the first time they were open, vulnerable, filled with emotions he had hidden all along. "I love you," Jungkook said again, louder this time. "I love you. And I don't care what anyone says. This marriage is not business. It's my heart." You let out a shaky laugh through your tears. "I love you too." In that moment, the distance between you both vanished. Jungkook leaned forward, resting his forehead against yours, closing the painful gap that had kept you apart. The next morning, the mansion felt different. You walked downstairs beside Jungkook, your hand in his. His grip was firm and protective. Gia was at the breakfast table, scrolling through her phone. She looked up, her eyes narrowing slightly at the sight of your joined hands. Jungkook's voice was calm but strong. "Gia," she tilted her head. "Yes, Oppa." He walked closer, pulling you gently to his side. His arm rested around your shoulders, something he had never done before in front of her. "I need to say something. I love my wife. I didn't marry her for business. I married her because she is the woman I had loved for years. Your eyes widened slightly. Years, but you stayed quiet, letting him speak. Gia froze, her smirking fading. Oppa. Yes, I love her from college, but God has other plans. She was with someone back then, but now he did me a favor. He gave me my heart back so that I can take care of her. Yes, he loves you from long ago, though you didn't pay much concentration on him during college. He did to you. Jungkook was your senior in college. By the time he fell in love with you, you were already with someone. So later he went abroad thinking your life was good with your boyfriend. But he got to know you about your breakup through your parents as they met him at family gatherings. They asked him to marry you. Jungkook's tone sharpened. You came into this house and disrespected her. You made her cry. This is something I will never allow in my house. Jia's eyes widened. She opened her mouth, then shut it again, her usual confidence cracking. I didn't mean you did. Jungkook cut her off. And because of that, I want you to leave tomorrow morning. I don't want people who insult my wife living under this roof. The silence was heavy. Jia's lips trembled. For the first time, guilt showed in her face. She turned to you, her voice softer. I'm sorry. I should not have said those things. I didn't know. You nodded slowly, still holding Jungkook's hand. I accept your apology, but please don't ever speak that way again. Jia lowered her head. I won't. Jungkook's arm tightened around you, as if sealing his promise of protection. For the first time you felt truly safe in this mansion. That evening Jungkook surprised you. Instead of going to his study after dinner, he stood in the living room, holding his carcass. Come with me, he said. Where? You asked, curious. A date? He answered simply, his lips curving into a smallest smile. Your heart skipped. Really? He nodded. It's late, but I don't care. I want to start over. I want you to know you are my wife, not my roommate. No more distance. I was missing these moments. You felt warmth spread through your chest as you slipped on a coat. He opened the car door for you, waiting until you were inside before driving off into the night. The city lights sparkled as you both walked hand in hand down a quiet street. Jungkook led you into a small cafe that was still open. The place was simple with warm lights and soft music playing in the background. He ordered 2 drinks, then sat across from you. For the first time his eyes didn't hide. They stayed on you, open and full of emotion. I don't know how to do this perfectly, he admitted, his voice soft, but I want to learn with you. You smiled through the tears that threatened to fall again. We will learn together.